Here are the stories for this video. As always, don't forget to share and like if you enjoy these videos. Without further ado, here we go! Am I the asshole for cutting off my father if he skips my wedding to go on vacation with his new wife and stepkids? Anyways, I'm 26 years old, female, getting married next June, and it's been a massive struggle with my mom, stepdad, dad, and stepmom. Basically, I don't have the best relationship with my dad already. He cheated on my mom when I was 14 years old and later married his mistress, who's my current stepmom, although I don't call her any sort of mom. They have 3 kids together. Over the last years, my own siblings have become really close to his kids, but I haven't. So now that I'm getting married, the initial pressure was on me to invite his entire family, despite me not getting along with his wife at all. I decided along with my fiance that we will only invite my dad, for my siblings' sake, but his wife and kids will not be invited to our wedding. This caused huge uproar with my siblings, and eventually I was further pressured to invite his kids, but only to the latter half of the reception and not the ceremony. I stood my ground. I sent an email explaining my logic and decision to the entire extended family, in case anyone was confused why I did not want these people at my ceremony. Anyways, just last week my dad calls me and says he won't be coming to my wedding after all, after how rude I've been to his wife and kids and how my emails supposedly humiliated them. He says he will be going on vacation with them that week and will send his gift through mail instead. I told him if that's his choice, don't bother contacting me for the rest of his life, because I won't answer, because I'm not letting him abandon me a second time. Am I the asshole for this threat? My fiance is fully on my side, but my siblings have called me heartless. Even my mom, who's the sweetest person alive, has questioned my tactics. Thanks. Oh, baby girl, the hurt that's still there inside you after your parents broke up is gonna eat you alive. Sometimes people aren't happy together. Your mom has moved on. It's been well over a decade. Try to make peace with his situation. If that means not talking to your dad, don't talk to him. But don't constantly get him to choose you over his wife. It's toxic and going to backfire and hurt everyone. Well, you're the asshole for basically starting this drama and now acting as if you're the biggest victim of the drama you started. First of all, yes, your dad sucks for cheating, but it's been over a decade. He's married and has kids. Even if he and his wife are guilty, the kids aren't. You should know it's beyond tacky to extend wedding invites specifically to exclude people within one family unit that you don't like. Unless no other kids are allowed or no other spouses are allowed, your initial invite was already a snub. Secondly, what was the point of sending an email to your entire extended family? Your dad's sort of right. You did humiliate them in front of everyone for no reason whatsoever. You said you invited your dad on your siblings' behalf. Did he ever pressure you himself for an invite? Because otherwise it seems like you drag his young kids into some kind of drama spotlight for no reason. Finally, you can cut your dad off whenever for whatever reason, but at least do it with a clear mind. He didn't abandon you, you put him in an impossible situation, essentially forcing him to choose either you or his wife and young kids. It was unnecessarily antagonistic. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter that she can't have kids while she still lives in my house? I know it sounds bad, but here's the story. I, 62 years old female, live with my husband, 65 male, who is my kid's stepfather. I had 3 kids with my first husband who passed away a few years ago. They are all relatively successful. 2 of them moved out, but 1 still lives with me, which I don't mind, but I think it's time that they be on their own as the others are. Oldest kid, 30 years old, male, moved out years ago, lives with his wife and recently had their first baby. Middle kid, 27-year-old female, married for 2 years. Her and her husband live with me while they save up for a place. Youngest, 22 years old, female, lives in college dorm in another city. Ever since my son and daughter-in-law had their baby, my oldest daughter has been baby crazy and has been constantly talking about how she can't wait to be a mom. I love my daughter, but I don't want a baby in the house. I stopped at 3 for a reason. I don't want her to live here forever. I want her and her husband to have their own lives, while my husband and I to have our own lives by ourselves. A couple of nights ago at dinner, I sat her down and told her my reasoning and told her that if she wants a baby that badly, then her and her husband need to start looking for their own place. She didn't take it too well and called me selfish and that I only think about myself. Which right now is true. For 30 years, I've put my kids first and now I want to put myself first. I hardly think I'm selfish for that. I tried to explain my reasoning and her husband said he understood, but I know he was angry too. My husband is on my side and says I'm not the asshole. For the past week, my daughter and her son-in-law have been ignoring me and only talks to me when it's necessary. I told some friends about what happened and most understand where I'm coming from, but a couple said that I am the asshole as it wouldn't matter because it's not my baby, so I wouldn't have any responsibility towards it. I don't know what to do. I don't want my daughter to hate me, but I'm getting older and I would like for my kids to be independent while my husband and I can enjoy retirement together. Am I the asshole here? Not the asshole. If they can't afford a home, they can't afford a child. Only shitty people purposely have their children when their life isn't in order yet, being able to provide all basic needs for themselves. If the child was a legit accident or they were in a good position, had a baby and then some bad luck came around, it would be a different story. Shit happens and I'm not going to judge people as assholes for situations that are out of their control. But if she and her husband try for a baby right now, they suck. Not the asshole. Even if the baby wouldn't technically be your responsibility, it's still a huge lifestyle adjustment to have a baby in the house, and as a grandma, you would probably end up helping out a lot. I hardly see how they can call you selfish as you are letting them live in your house. Not the asshole at all. You and your husband deserve time to yourselves and to live out your lives as you see fit. Frankly, your daughter and her husband do need to get out sooner rather than later. They don't have any reason to be getting pregnant right now. They need to get out. And you do have the rights to practice tough love and force them out. Am I the asshole for secretly giving my grandson some Christmas money but not my step-granddaughter? I am a retired man on a pension, I don't get much money and I have to live frugally. My daughter had an affair with the man she is now. This broke up her marriage. The new family member is a 15-year-old teenage girl who is technically my step-grandchild now. I don't see her often, nor do I know her. She lives with her mom. My daughter and her husband married as soon as her divorce was finalized 18 months ago. This has been extremely hard on my grandson. He is 17 and moody, angry, upset, lashing out at his mom. He doesn't want to live with her, but his dad hasn't got a stable home due to the divorce. My grandson is in need of someone in his corner. I decided I wanted to gift him some money for Christmas. Normally I don't give cash to any family member, but I want to help him. He's not dealing well. I gave him the money in secret and asked that he invest wisely. Not blow it on girls or pots. He said he will buy a car. I said okay. My daughter found the cash in my son's room after doing a random search and wanted to know where the money came from. I told her the truth so she would not suspect my grandson of wrongdoing. She told her partner and they both want me to take my gift back because my stepdad, granddaughter, is left out. I don't want to take the gift back. My grandson needs to know someone is thinking of him. I do not feel I am obligated to give money to someone else's child just because their parent has a skewed vision of what is fair. I will give the girl some chocolate on Christmas and I think that is appropriate. Not the asshole. I think your assessment of the situation is spot on. He needs someone in his corner and that person is you. Perhaps you can go with him to buy a car and help him out that way if she insists he can't keep the money and there is no problem treating him and his stepdaughter differently. Your relationship is different, you hardly know her, they aren't little kids anymore and they can deal with that. Not the asshole. Your grandson is lucky to have you and vice versa. NTA, you should not be expected to give money to your new granddaughter if you are not close with her. If you have to take the gift back, try returning the favor to your grandson in another way. I think spending time with him would mean more. Or use the money to take a trip together. That would mean more than cash anyways. So those were the stories for today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comments below. As usual, please like if you enjoy these stories and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on more future videos. Thanks for listening and I will see you in the next video.